I do agree with Jamelia, but I also think that Britain has a decent record, a better record than other countries, and we are very, very different from the US. My son, my youngest son, is very shy. He decided he looks more mixed race than his brother and sister. He got braids about a year ago. And since that happened, he says he believes he's been racially profiled. He gets followed in supermarkets and so on and so forth. And he goes every year to Brooklyn to stay with our friend's son, his best friend. And a few months ago, on his last trip to Brooklyn, he was held at gunpoint by police and told to freeze because he was wearing a green hoodie and they were chasing somebody with a green hoodie. He did everything he was told and he survived. But I was told by a friend who's a lawyer, criminal defense lawyer there, that had he even scratched his nose, he would not be here today because they shoot to kill in America. They don't shoot you in the leg or in the arm. They shoot to kill.
Sorry, I'm just absolutely perplexed by this. Like, you start off the conversation by saying, I think things have changed. But then you speak about your son being racially profiled, racially, and held at gunpoint. Like, this is ridiculous. This is, and let me tell you what the problem is. It's the fact that you've accepted this as a norm. This is not a norm, and it should never be a norm. Not for a black boy, not for a white boy, not for anyone. Everyone. No.
Go on, Betty.
I think that there comes a point where people need to start listening.
He was told at some point in America, and that's when he realised that living in Britain is still very different from the lengths that the American law system goes to.
This is what I'm talking about, and you need to listen. Just because we are not being held at gunpoint does not mean that we do not have knees on our necks. We have to understand that being treated equally does not mean, oh, I haven't had a gun held at me today, because my children still have guns held at them in their schools by their teachers. That is systemic racism, and it is just as harmful, just as traumatic. My children don't go to school because of systemic racism, because they cannot in this country, because they cannot and do not have the same chances, opportunities, and treatment as their white counterparts.
All right.
That is still racism, that is still violent, and it's still unacceptable.